in just 3 years, as of 2017, it reached its 40-year record low, and that was 10.7 million square kilometers. So altogether, in that period of 3 years, it lost a little over 2 million square kilometers of ice. And that's a little bit larger than the area of Mexico. In the Arctic case, there's a strong consensus that the loss of sea ice is related to the warming in the Arctic. In the Antarctic case, instead of having a loss of sea ice for the first 30-plus years of this 40-year record, there was overall a gain in sea ice. This was very puzzling. After 2014, when this huge decrease happened, there are some attempts to try to relate it to something going on in the atmosphere or the oceans. And there have been some indications that maybe, like in the Weddell Sea, it could have been warm air coming in from the north. And in the Ross Sea, it might have been slightly different reasons. So there have been a number of attempted explanations, but definitely no consensus view yet. Since then, for the following 3 decades plus, the Antarctic sea ice was increasing in extent. So from that example, it is clear that that could happen again. So the great decreases that happened from 2014 to 2017 could be followed by increases in the coming years. So we're not sure about that. But one interesting aspect of it is these 2 large decreases in the Antarctic ice, one in the 1970s and the other from 2014 to 2017, nothing like that has ever been observed in the records we have for the Arctic. The sun's radiation that comes down to the Earth's surface, if there's a sea ice cover that it's incident on, most of that radiation gets reflected off, goes back to space. If the sea ice is no longer there and the sun's radiation comes down at the same location, but now it's liquid water instead of sea ice that it strikes, it tends to go into the oceans, stay within the Earth's system, and heat the Earth's system up.
Yeah.
If more recently deeper into the sea than still can hardly,
Yeah.
Penguins definitely are affected by where the sea ice is. But in addition to the polar bears in the north and the penguins in the south, the sea ice cover affects birds, it affects whales, it affects seals, it affects little organisms that actually live in the ice. So the little organisms, their entire life sometimes is lived within the ice. So those organisms clearly are affected, and it kind of goes all the way up through the food chain.
telemarketing center.